everyone, I'm Stephanie from Forest Valley Outdoor Education Center, and this video is going to be about how to start seeds and to start growing some food crops for either indoor planting if you are living in an apartment, or for transplanting outside if you've got some outdoor space, maybe a yard or a community garden space that you have access to. And if you don't have any of these pots or seed starters, you can just as easily use plastic containers. You're going to want to maybe put a hole or two at the bottom for a little bit of drainage, and then make sure that you've got some sort of tray or a lid underneath so that the water doesn't bubble up. Another great way to start some seeds if you don't have any of these pots is just to use egg cartons. Egg cartons are great. They've already got a natural separation, and eventually, well, pretty soon after the seeds germinate, you're going to need to transplant them anyway. So if you've got a little bit of space or something larger you can transplant into. You can get seeds at grocery stores if it's safe to do so. You can also order them online. There are a couple of companies that are still delivering. I really like to use organic seeds. And when you're getting your soil ready, you want to try as much as possible to have the level of the soil consistent, so you can see that it's all one level. That's going to make it easier when you're watering to sort of regulate where you're going to water, and everything can kind of be uniform. So as much as you can, keeping things as flush to the top as you can. There are lots of different seeds that you could try this out with. This is a lentil that was put just in some water. So the water and the warmth has caused the seed case to crack, and all of the genetic material and the food for the seed is actually contained in the seed itself. This is the root that has emerged, and this is the very first thing that's going to come out. It's going to be looking for nutrients and water in some soil, or some can survive in water. And then once the root is established, it's going to send up the first leaf, and you can see that that's coming out right here. And this part of the seed is actually going to come out of the soil looking for light so that it can begin to photosynthesize, so that it can start to grow. Other things that you can try to plant would be something like a cherry tomato. So if you want to try to grow cherry tomatoes from seed, usually what I like to do is just use a paper towel so that I'm confident that the seed isn't covered in the fruit itself. So you can either run it under some water or just put the seed on the paper towel. And you just want to wash it and clean it so that just the seed remains and the fruit is not there. Okay, trying not to damage the seed in the process. So then, just take this, and you only want to bury it just a few millimeters under the soil. Okay, make sure it gets in there. And lightly cover it. You want to make sure that it's going to be protected and stay warm and have access to water so that it can germinate, but you don't want the leaf to have to travel too far so that it won't be able to access light to be able to feed itself once it no longer has access to its food from the seed casing. And you just add a little bit of water. And we wait. I'm just going to demonstrate how you might want to sow some kale. So one of the reasons why I like kale so much is, first of all, it's very easy to grow, and it's very nutritious. You can add it to a lot of different things. You can make kale chips pretty easily in the oven. So the seeds are usually pretty tiny. So what I like to do is just take this. I also sometimes use a pencil and just take one seed per hole and then cover it back up. When you're planting the seed, you really want to only plant it about the depth of how big the seed is. So this tiny little seed only wants to go a few millimeters in the soil. So there, our kale is planted. Okay, so when you're watering, you you want to just water slowly. And if you're using a container that's made out of plastic or steel, then you're going to water a little bit less often. If you've got this type of egg carton or anything made out of paper, you're going to water a little bit more frequently because the paper is going to absorb some of the water. You shouldn't water again until the soil is dry to the touch, and you can see how you don't want to try not to disturb the seed so much. Okay. If you're working with a seed that's a little bit bigger, like these bean seeds, then you'll want to bury the seed between 1 to 2 centimeters into the soil. So, again, you'll dig a little bit of a deeper hole, and beans are great starter seeds to work with. The germination rate, so the success of each of the seeds, is very high, and they grow quite quickly, so it's great to be able to see, you know, the gardening process in action. And I'm putting 4 seeds in each of these, and then I will transplant them once the plants are a little bit larger. And again, we'll give this some water slowly, so try not to disturb the soil too much so that the seed maintains in the place where you left it. So if you're deciding where in your home or your apartment you might want to put this, you need to have access to light a few hours a day at least. The more sun that the window gets, the better. And if you have a window that's south facing, that you can maybe put a little table or put a little tray and start a seed or two. You don't need to make a big setup like this. You could just have 1 or 2 little things that you can try out just as an experiment, and yeah, you'll learn a lot about how to grow your own food.